This is task 3B part 4. This is the second part where we're going to look at the age and discount calculations. So we need to calculate the age of the campervan in years and the discount for the age of the campervan. Now if we have a look up here, we're told what we need to know. First of all, we'll have a look at the age. The age of a campervan is calculated in years. If it has been disposed, then the age should be the age at the time of disposal. This bit here is what makes it difficult. Let's just start with just looking at the age discount on it, so the age on its own. Let's just assume that it was a simple case of the difference between the purchase date and the disposal date. In that case, we could use a date diff function, and the difference we would be calculating would be years. So we'd have y, which represents, and it would be the difference between the purchase date, notice the square brackets, comma, and the disposal date. Oh, I forgot to close the bracket. Yeah, let's get rid of this property sheet so we can see that whole function. We'll just make this a little bit wider so we can see it all. There you go. So the date diff, the difference in date in years between the purchase date and the disposal date. Well, that doesn't seem to have worked for this one, nor this one, nor this one, but it has worked for this one. And that's because these haven't got disposal dates. So what is the age of the campervan? Well, it says the age of a campervan calculated in years. If it's been disposed, the age will be at the age at the time of disposal. So if it hasn't been disposed, and its age, the difference is actually, instead of being the disposal date, it's going to be the difference to today's date. Well, we've got this issue here where I'm trying to put in two different things. Now I could put an if function in here, but what I'm actually going to do is create another text box, and I'm going to name this one here temporary date. So I'm just going to call it here temp date, or you could call it temp, whatever you want to call it. And here, this is where I'm going to do my function, this if function, to decide whether or not it needs to be today's date or the disposal date. So first of all, we need to see, so an equals, we need to see if the disposal date is empty. If the disposal date is empty, then we'll use today's date. So to say is empty, we say is null. If it is null, if it is empty, we'll use today's date. If it's not empty, then it's obviously got a value, so we can use the disposal date. Right, let's have a look. Oh, that's not worked. So let's have a look and see what we've done wrong. So if the disposal date is null, then use today's date. Otherwise, use date. And what I've done is I've put double F, and it should have been double I for if. Alright, so that's quite a common mistake there. Here we go, 3rd of July. That's the date I'm doing this video on. Let's have a look at these. Yeah, all 3rd of July. And this one, oh look, we've got a disposal date, so it's the 18th of September. So now I've got this and I've named it temp date. What I can do is replace disposal date here in our date diff with that temp date, and what it will do is it will use whatever value of this temporary date is. So if we have a look, oh, it's coming up as an error, and that's probably because I didn't put a space in between temp and date when I named it. There we go. So we've got 5 for this one. That's good, because 5 years ago, 3rd of January 2017 compared with 6th of February 2012, so that's 5 years. Let's have a look at the next one. So we've got 4 years going back to 2013, 2 years, and then we've got 7 years here because the difference is between 2014 and 2007. So you might have been looking at this and thinking, hang on a minute, that's not quite right, because this is 3rd of January 2017, That's 6th of February 2012. So if it was actually 5 years old, then we would need to be after or on or after the 6th of February. So it's actually only probably 9 years old. So its age should still be 4, not 5. And that's quite critical. So the date diff calculation, in this case, isn't going to do what we need it to do. We're actually going to need to look at calculating the difference in terms of the actual days. So we're going to go for our temp date, and we're going to subtract from that the purchase date. Now what that will give us is the number of days, okay, in terms of how old it is. Now if we divide by 365, it's not quite going to be enough. We need to account for leap years. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide by 365.25 because that's the average number of years. Let's have a look at what we've got now. Right, we've got 4.9. Now we don't need to know the precise 4.9, we just need the 4 part. So what we're going to do is we're going to say we want an integer value. So I'm going to have to open another brackets, close the brackets at the end, and what this will do is give us an integer value for the age. And now as we scroll through, we can actually see that some of them have changed quite dramatically. So this one's now 3 years instead of 4, and this one's 1 year instead of 2, as it should be, because that's its actual age. So now we can move on to the age discount. Now the age discount is here. It says camper vans that are at least 2 years old will receive a £20 discount, and camper vans that are at least 4 years old will receive a further £30 discount. So we're going to be using an if function again. So if, and we're going to say if the age, okay, so if the age is greater than 4 years, which was what it said. It said if it's 4 years old, they'll get £50 in total. So we'll say if the age is greater than 4, okay, then they can get a £50 discount. Otherwise, if the age is greater than 2 years, if we have a look here, 2 years old receive a 20% discount, then 20. Otherwise, we're not going to give them anything at all. And we've got to have 2 closed brackets because we've got 2 if statements in there. Oh, we're missing something again, so let's have a look. We've got if age is greater than 4, then 50. Otherwise, if the age is greater than 2, 20. So we should have had otherwise 0, close bracket, close bracket. Nothing wrong with that, apart from the fact that I've not used the if statement right again. I've used double F. So we'll put that in. I forgot the vertical bar at the end of age. Can you see how easy it is in these things to make a mistake? Okay, so let's have a look. Right, so that's 4 years, £20. Okay, so we were looking for that to be £50 for 4 years. Let's go back and have a look. So we said greater than 4, and we meant to say greater than equal to 4 and greater than or equal to 2. Have a look again. That's better. £50 for 4 years, £20 for 3, nothing for 1, £20 for 2 years. That's all good. Right, now we just need to hide this because we don't need to see that on our form. So I'm going to look at the properties of that, and if we go to format, and we'll make it invisible, so it's not visible on the main form. There we go, we've now calculated the age and the age discount, and of course I can make those fields a bit smaller.